Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Blake Boland and I am instantly regretting making this video. What I've got in my hands today is a 50 kilometre, so just over 30-mile commute into work, and I want to know, can I swap out my car for an electric bike? Now, Green Air, specialists in e-bikes in Dublin, they were kind enough to loan us the bike for a couple of days just to test it out and see how we get on with it. Really looking forward to this one. Now, before we begin, there's a couple of basics to go through. We're not going to do a full review now, but let's just take a few seconds to talk about the highlights. Well, we've got the Enviolo 380 gearless hub in here, which is really good. So if you're stopped at lights and you're in the wrong gear before you take off, you just switch it. Not like a chain drive. It'll just adapt straight away. You're absolutely fine. Carbon belt just there. We have got panniers on the back, nice gel seat. And there's a little bit of give in that with this unit here, and you can actually change out that bit of rubber in the middle to make it more or less rigid. Now, built into the frame just here is our 750 watt-hour battery. That's a tidy amount of energy. Will it be enough to get me where I want to go though? That's the big question. Now, we've got big chunky tires on it, great mud guards as well. Pretty good weather today, we won't need those, but nice to have them. Suspension here, now you can open and close that, so get a good bit of travel, but then if you're on the road and you want to save yourself a bit of energy, lock them up and it'll take the give out of that. Nice new system from Bosch here on the Charger 4 as opposed to the Charger 3, giving us a lot more information, average speed, cadence, stuff like that. But without going into too much detail, I think that's enough for us. I'm procrastinating enough here. I think I just need to get on the road, get this out of the way. So what exactly am I doing today on the Charger 4? Well, I'm trying to swap the bike out for my commute into work. So I got to get in there, but then I also got to get home. Now, it's a 50 kilometre journey, bang on 50 kilometres, give or take a couple of hundred metres, that is, into work. I'm going to be spending a few hours in there before I come back home. So the big question is, can I swap this out? Because if I get in there and I'm left with a flat battery, can't get home, that's going to be a very, very long cycle on a bike this heavy. So we're going to test it out in terms of charging it up. How long does that take afterwards? When am I ready to go? And possibly then adjust the cycle on the way home from what I've learned about my travel on the way in. So in terms of altitude, there's very little in it really. I'm at about 20 metres above sea level where I am now, and I'm going to end up at 10 metres above sea level, and over 50 kilometres, that's nothing at all. In terms of wind, it's not really that breezy at all today. There might be a little bit of a crosswind, and that's about it. I've checked that up. Temperatures are nice. We're about 15 degrees now, sunny. So it's great that I've got a little bit of assistance from the electric motor here so that I'm not absolutely wringing in sweat when I get in. But then maybe I'll run out of battery, and I will be, who knows. So we'll give you some updates, stop along the way, let you know how it's going, and then obviously we'll do a little report once we arrive into work, and I can show you how we charge up the battery and some other features like that. I thought I'd stop, take out the camera and just do a quick update. So I'm just over half the journey done, 27 of 50 kilometres. There's the R&M in the background, and it's doing really, really well. So yeah, we have done 27.5 kilometres, and that's taken us 1 hour and 8 minutes. So going pretty well, but the battery is still on 78%, so I haven't even used a quarter of it to do half my journey. So I think for the next stage I'm going to up it from the tour mode that I have it on now, use a little bit more battery, get there faster and make it a little bit easier on my legs, although this is pretty plain sailing so far. So I've made it into work and not a bead of sweat on me. I just feel brilliant. I put in hardly any effort at all. So let's just turn it back on now, because I turned it off at the door. I didn't want to upset the stats and the details. But it's been an absolute trooper. Now, overall, we did 50 kilometers, exactly 50.0, and it took us 2 hours and 7 minutes to do that. So I'm really happy with that time. I know when I looked up Google Maps to say that I was cycling, it suggested 2 hours 40. So we well beat that. Really, really good. But the key thing is, what do you want to know? The battery. Well, 53%. I thought before we did this, we might be struggling for range a little bit, but there we go, 50 kilometers, and I only used 47% of the battery. Now I did the first half of the journey, as you saw, in tour mode, and then the second half I put it all the way up to turbo and just went after it in terms of getting assistance from the bike, no holding back whatsoever, and still only down to 53%. Really just hugely impressive, really comfortable. I feel refreshed arriving here. Fantastic. Like, the wind blowing by my face was cooling me more than I was heating up by putting in effort to the bike. But look, it's time to charge it up, so plug it into a 3-pin, just there, into the socket on the wall, switch that on, take the end, that goes in there. Pretty easy to do, actually. Nice accessible flap, put that in, absolutely brilliant. Really impressive. But here's the thing, now we want to charge it, so 53%, we're going to keep an eye on how long that takes to charge back up and see what it's on before we leave, just to see how long it takes. But let's say you wanted to park the bike down an underground garage or something like that, but you want to charge it up at the same time. Well, Riese and Müller have thought of that, so let's look into that. We'll disconnect that there, take out the keys. Now, and it is this one as far as I know. Let's find out. So plug that in there, turn it, and then the battery just pops out the end. And there's a little release just there, which you have to pull down, comes out. So there we go, there's our full battery. A little bit of weight in that, but considering how the technology has come on in recent years, it's not nearly as heavy as I would have expected. There's your socket at the other end. So you could just bring this up to your desk, up to your bedroom, your living room in your house, or the apartment, whatever it is, plug it in there, and we're charging up again. And you can see that they have lights on the side to indicate how far you are. So the third of 5 lights is blinking there just to indicate where we are, which is 53% in our case. I could easily throw that in a backpack or just carry it up. Brilliant. Okay, so we are on 53%. I'm going to check the time. It is 22 minutes past 1 exactly. Let's plug it in so that we can chart the time and how long it takes to charge. Time to go for some lunch. So back here now at the bike, exactly, timed it down to the minute, exactly an hour later. And we are up to 84%. So we've added 30%, or 31 let's call it, in an hour. Absolutely brilliant. Now, we know based on the journey down here, well, we don't know, but we're pretty sure that 84% is plenty to get me out back home again, another 50 kilometers on turbo, so with maximum help. Now, there might be little bit differences in wind and obviously the terrain on the way home, but I'm still pretty confident that this will get me there. Quick stop because we are halfway along the route home. Thought to get a little update. There's a screen there. So we have done 21.7 kilometers and it's taken me 57.5 minutes to get here. So battery, that's the key though, isn't it? And the battery is on 54%. So yeah, we'll easily make it home. I've had it on turbo all the way from work to this point. So shouldn't be any issue. Wind's hurting us a little bit more now. I don't know if you can see up into the trees there. Anyway. Trees are moving, wind is hurting us a little bit, so a bit more work for the bike to do, but yeah, we should be fine. Well, there we are back home after the second leg. Let's bring up the numbers there. So 49.9 kilometers, so only 100 meters in the difference, but really what we all want to know is the battery percentage. Got home on 16% left, and it took 2 hours and 5 minutes, so only what, 2 minutes longer on the way out and the way home. There was a pretty strong wind on the way back, so that took a little bit of extra battery, I'd say. But there it is, the trusty Riese and Müller sitting in front of the car that potentially could replace. I thoroughly enjoyed my time with the Charger 4. Now, it carries a pretty chunky price tag, but it really is a premium product. The bike is more than capable of doing a commute like I did today, but for me personally, at just over 2 hours each way, the trip is too long. If I was to swap out the car, it would probably be for something like a compact folding bike that I could bring on the train with me into work and then just finish off the last 1 or 2 kilometers of my journey by bike. But having lived with the Charger 4 for a few days, it is really impressing me and tempting me. There are so many journeys that I could do on a bike like this with ease. Hook up a trailer for some shopping or even put the kids in it. E-bikes are now opening up so many opportunities for people to get out of their cars and get more active. We just need a lot more support getting a safe infrastructure in place.